Morning, Mikel.
Hello.
You spoke about consistency when we chatted on Monday. First defeat since Everton around Christmas time. How difficult mentally is it for the players to put a game like Tuesday's behind them to prepare for Aston Villa?
I don't know how hard it is for everybody, but we have to move on. We have a big game on Saturday, and we need to go again. There are things to learn from the game, things that we cannot control, obviously, and a lot of positives to take there. And just move on, go for the next one, and keep the momentum going.
Yeah, as you say, plenty of positives to take. Bukayo Saka, in particular, in the first half, absolutely fantastic. Made a real difference. Now he's back.
I think it was the team collectively, the way he played, the goals that we should have scored, the dominance that we showed, and we need to keep going. And obviously, with 10 and 9 man, after watching the game back, the fight, the resilience of the team, the passion with they played is incredible. And my praise is there because we still had chances to score a goal, even with 9 players. And that was completely down to them, how much they want to fight and the spirit that they have around them.
Aston Villa are going to be pretty frustrated after that defeat to West Ham. Dean Smith said that the best team won, but what did you make of their performance?
I'm not here to judge their performance. They've been fantastic through the season. They beat some top teams. They've been in a really strong run, and they beat us when we played them here at home. So we have to make sure that we go there and we win the game.
Thank you, Mikel. Good luck.
Thank you.
Roger at Sky.
Hi, Mikel.
Hello.
Hi. First of all, can you just update us on the David Luiz appeal and how hopeful you are that it could be overturned?
I'm very helpful, and that's why we put the appeal on, because we discussed, we went through all the images, and we think that the red card should be overruled. That's why we put the appeal.
And when do you hope to hear the outcome of that?
I don't know how long it would take, but hopefully today we would have more information. That's the latest I got from the club.
Of course, Bernardo got sent off the other day. You mentioned that Matt Ryan had been carrying an injury. Can you just give us an update on him, whether he's been able to train, and then if he's not available, that your confidence in Alex to cover?
He's not been available to train yet, and Alex is available, so we will have the choice between him and Alex to make for the weekend.
You say there will be a choice to be made, though, even though Matt hasn't trained?
Yes, if Matt is able to train and they are both fit, then we have a decision to make. If Matt is not fit, obviously Alex will be in goal.
Aubameyang came on the other day. Is he in a position now where he's available to start and available selection from the start?
Well, he's available. He played a few minutes after 10 days not doing much, and hopefully in the next 2 days he feels good, and he's available to contribute to the team.
And just a couple more from me. If I can ask about the form of Pepe, it really seems to have hit probably the best form since he's been at the club at the moment. What's been the key for him, do you think?
That even when we made the decisions not to play, and that he kept working hard, he has improved in a lot of areas. He's been much consistent through 90 minutes, and he's a threat at the moment. He's been scoring goals, he's been assisting players, he's been a real threat, and he needs to continue doing that.
And just finally from me, concussion subs. I think you're the first match in which they'll be permitted this time around. Are you in favour of that? And what sort of guidance have you been given in terms of how they'll be used?
We've got a meeting this afternoon with the Premier League to have much more information and clarity about how we can use them, what the rules behind it. But I think it's necessary, opens another possibility. And when something dramatic happens on the pitch, at least we have the ability to replace that player.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Mikel.
Thank you.
George at the BBC.
Thanks, Mark. Hello, Mikel.
Hello.
Mikel, in a weird way, was David Luiz better off taking out the Wolves player on Tuesday night, in the sense that he would have only had a yellow card, but he could have done some damage? The law's not right, is it, in regards to what happened on Tuesday?
But we know the law. For me, is more about the decision and what happens in that instant. there was a very similar incident, even though David is behind him, and against Manchester United, it was on the side of the player that completely changes the angle, the purpose, and how much affects the player's ability to finish the action. But it's still a similar situation. I think they will look at it.
Okay. Is there a concern that David keeps getting himself in these situations? I know it's happened a couple of times with him before in a Chelsea match. You know, is that something he needs to work on?
Well, if you look at the two images, we can have a long debate here. So just to put the finger on David, in my opinion, is not fair.
Okay. Is there a possibility? I know you said that Pepe is playing really well. That Aubameyang, he will be dropped for Aubameyang because he's your captain, and your captain comes back into the team.
Well, at the end, they have to play the players that are in best form, and everybody has to earn the right to play and participate in the games. And that's what everybody is doing, pushing each other to raise the level. You can see that the level is being raised because everybody's playing at their best, and there's still room for improvement. So everybody has to keep pushing.
And just the last one from me, that 46 minutes on Tuesday night, do you think that was arguably probably one of the best bits of football you've done this season from your team?
Maybe, yes. I think for long periods, we looked very close to what we want to be as a team. And then we have to get that into results. And when you have those moments in the game, you have to go 3 or 4-0 up and the game is over.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Ian, TalkSport.
Hi, Mikel. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
You've now had 3 transfer windows at Arsenal, and as you say, the other night you were happy with certainly the first 46 minutes at Molineux. Do you think that the team now is beginning to mould into what you want it to be long term?
Yes, well, the first transfer window was a very rushed one because I just arrived. The other 2, we had a little bit more time. If you see the amount of transactions that we've done in this window, it's incredible. And credit to the club, credit to Edu for the work that he's done, because it's not easy in one window to get the amount of things that we've done. I know that most of them it was to get some players out and create some space as well around the team, but it's still not an easy thing to do in this window and in this market.
So no Bernd Leno at Villa Park, and Matt Ryan's had an injury. I mean, it would just be so gutting for him, wouldn't it? An Arsenal fan, he joins Arsenal. Let's face it, he's probably going to have very limited chance to play. Here is his chance to play. If he doesn't play through injury, I mean, how sorry would you feel for him?
This is football, and these things happened, and that's why when we allowed Matt Messi to go, we knew that we had to get somebody else, because these things can happen, and unfortunately, when you less need them, actually happen. So we are more protected now having Matt as well in the squad, and let's see if he's fit. But for now, Alex is fit as well.
2 sendings off the other night. I know they weren't for serious foul play or anything, but Pepe sent off this season, Xhaka as well. Are you worried about, on occasions, the discipline of the team?
Well, when I was worried about the discipline, it was in 2 occasions with Nico and with Granit, and we should avoid that. And we talked about it. There are other ones that there are moments in the game. It's a split of a second. You have to make a decision. There is a referee that has to make a decision as well, and there is much less to control from our side. What is clear is that when you have 5 red cards in this period, you're going to lose a lot of points. And we would have some of those points will be in a completely different position on the table. That's for sure. There are no teams with 5 red yellow cards that they're on the top. It doesn't happen.
Last one from me. It hasn't affected Arsenal this week, but it has in the past, and it's affected other clubs this week. I'm talking about online social abuse of players. I'm not going to ask you how we go about stopping it. I want to ask you about how you feel emotionally and how you feel and what you do with the player when it happens at your club.
There are all type of different abuses, and I think it has to be eradicated completely. I think social media has a big responsibility on that. because then you talk about the mental health of the players and the public people and how exposed they are. And I'm all open and for people to have their opinions, but not just to be insulting people, abusing people, and just using a screen behind somebody, behind a mobile phone to tell whatever you want about a person that you don't even know. And that's, for me, has to be eradicated, because I think it's causing a lot of damage in football, a lot of damage to public people. So I think we have to be really strong on that. And I think you guys as well have a big part to play to support us and the industry here.
Take care, Mikel.
Okay, thank you.
Mark from PA.
Morning, Mikel.
Yeah.
Just going back to the goalkeeper situation at the weekend, will it be strange to ask Alex to start and to play in the Premier League, given that he's just been removed from the Europa League squad? Will that be a strange conversation to have?
No, Alex knew his role before we signed him, and obviously he knows his role after we signed him. We had a plan on the goalkeeper's position, and we could not execute the plan the way we wanted because for different reasons. But Alex's role was very clear around the squad, and that hasn't changed. And then he needs to earn his opportunity, and he needs to earn his place, whether it's third, second, or first, depending on his performance, and he needs to push for that.
In terms of Kieran, you said that on Tuesday night he wasn't close to playing. Because of his previous injuries, you're having to manage him differently to how you would maybe with another player coming back?
No, it's a different injury in this case. And, you know, Kieran is a player that really pushes himself, and he has to be able to perform physically as well at his best, because he cannot hold himself. And even in training, he cannot hold himself. So we are trying to manage in the best possible way, find every possibility to give him the best chance to be fit as quick as possible. And we are here to support him as much as we can and try to get him fit as quick as we can.
Given you guys are clearly managing him, do you have any concerns on the horizon that the Scotland games are coming up in a few weeks' time? You might end up having to go and play 90 minutes a few times.
No, what I want is that he's fit to play with us as soon as possible. And then if he's fit and he needs to represent his country, there we go. It's one of his dreams, and he needs to fulfill that. But what I want is that as quick as possible, he's fit to play for Aston.
He's been out for a few weeks now, and I know you said just now to Ian that you've had an incredible transfer window. But was signing a left back the only thing really that you didn't achieve that you would have wanted to do?
We cannot do everything. As I mentioned before, there were so many things that we had to do in this transfer window. We had to focus in what it was a priority for that. We almost did everything we wanted to do. And there are things to do. But when you talk about the squad evolution, it's going to take time and a big effort. And then things have to happen your way as well. And that's not the case all the time.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
James, ESPN.
Morning, Mikel. Just on the goalkeeping situation again, Alex Runnison, he is somebody who has faced a little bit of criticism when he's played. Do you think people have been maybe a little bit too quick to judge him, given he's only just arrived at the club?
Yes, but this is what you face when you play for a big club, you know, and people expect to go. When you go out there to give your best and perform at the top level, and if you don't, you're going to get that criticism. You know that before you join the club. You know that you are exposed all the time to critics, and as well, if you do really well, everybody is going to be praising you more than to any other club, and you have to be able, if you want to play here, to handle that pressure.
Do you think it's been a bit of a culture shock for him?
I don't think so. I think he knew and he expected that, and he needs to handle that. We are here to support him. He's played some games already here. He's played some good games. Yeah, he had a difficult game against Manchester City the other night. He came on, and I think that he did well.
Can you give us a bit of an idea about his character? Because we haven't really spoken to him. Do you think he's got the strength of character to be able to cope with it?
Yeah, and he works really hard, and his fit is really well around the dressing room. He's a really nice boy, really humble, and he needs to be away from all the comments and focus in his work focus on improving, and when he's got a chance to perform the best possible way.
Just finally from me,